In this problem, we'll solve each polynomial inequality and express each solution set in interval notation. So we got x minus 6 times x plus 1 is less than 0. Now we're going through our steps. Our first step is to get everything on the left side, 0 on the right side. Well, that's done. Step 2 is to factor the left side, set each factor equal to 0. Well, we've already factored, this is already factored, so we just need to set each factor equal to 0. So we'll set x minus 6 equal to 0, and x plus 1 is equal to 0. And then it says, and solve. And these will give us our critical values. So I'll take negative 6 over, it becomes a positive 6. Take the 1 over, and it becomes a negative 1. Now it says, using the x-axis critical values and graph, determine the answer. Here's our x-axis. Our smaller critical value is a negative 1, so I want it on the left side, and then 6 would be here. Clear over here is negative infinity. Clear over here is positive infinity. Now these split them into intervals. This interval, first interval is negative infinity to negative 1. This interval is negative 1 to 6, and our last interval is 6 to positive infinity. Now we want to use our graph, it says. So let's go ahead and graph this. Go to y equals clear, and I got beginning parentheses x minus 6, closing parentheses, beginning parentheses, x plus 1. And I'll put a closing parentheses, even though you don't need closing parentheses at the very end. Now press graph. Now notice where it crosses the x-axis. Negative 1, and my eyes aren't very good, so I can't see that, but it'd be this, 6. So negative 1 and 6 is where it crosses the x-axis. So if I sketch my graph on here, it's going to look like that, more or less. Do not try to make it look like this. We're just trying to get a rough idea. Okay. Now this is a less than. Less than, we said our answer is below the x-axis. Well, if I look where my answer is below the x-axis, the graph right here is below the x-axis. So that right there is going to be our answer. So we're going to have negative 1, comma 6. Now it's a less than. If I come over here, less than tells us that we want parentheses. So I'll put parentheses around these. And that would be our answer.